Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a DIY Dollar Tree DesthEater masks for my Harry Potter Halloween series. You're going to need a mask from the Dollar Tree. There's different varieties. Silver spray paint, this is brushed nickel, some foam sheets, some black craft paint, a glue gun, an X-Acto knife, or a scissor. First thing I'm going to do is we're going to start off with, there's different ways to design this. I went on to Pinterest and I saw DesthEater Masks. And DesthEater Masks, if you're a Harry Potter fan, you know that they're mostly metal looking and they're very individual. So you can make one and be your own DesthEater. You don't have to try to make like Lucius Malfoy's DesthEater mask or or Bellatrix Lestrange's DesthEater mask, if you know what I mean. So you could just go ahead and create your own, be inspired by that, or you can go ahead and copy one that's already in existence. So I'm just being inspired by some that I saw. So I'm going to start with this hockey mask, this like Jason Friday the 13th mask. And I'm going to cut some of the holes I'm going to make into a slit. I did notice most of the DesthEater masks had slit mouths or, like squares or rectangles for open mouths. But there were, again, different varieties. So go ahead, you do your own thing. So what I've done is I've just used the X-Acto knife to cut straight down each side and connect it across the two holes. And then I didn't put it in my instructions. I bridged the gap with some washi. One of the masks had like these bars that went across the mouth, almost like the mouth was in jail. It kind of reminded me of. So I used washi just to help with the hot glue, but you can skip that step. You can use masking tape, you can use duct tape, whatever. Because we're going to spray paint this, it doesn't really make a difference. So what I've done is I'm taking my black Sharpie and I'm just like trying to figure out a design that I want. And the silver, this is brushed nickel from Rust-Oleum, will cover the Sharpie. So you guys play, have at it. I wanted to just show you how I designed, or how I started to design my masks. I was inspired by the mask itself, again, other designs, what I thought a scary face looked like. And what we're going to do for this first mask is we're going to build up all of these features with hot glue. So again, you just need your hot glue gun. And I've decided to do like a swirl pattern. And they're not even, the drawings aren't the same on both sides, but that was because I wanted to show you different designs that you can use. And then just go for it. I tried to make them as symmetrical on the left and right as possible, but that's totally not necessary because these are supposed to be handcrafted magical masks. They're supposed to be, open for interpretation like that. So I've made these thick eyebrows. I've made a bridge from the eyebrows to the sides of the nose. I've going to draw around a mouth. And again, where I put those washies to bridge these prison bars across the mouth. And at first, as I was drawing the mouth, I feel like it made it a little too smiley. And I don't know why. So you definitely want to make it a stern, scary type of situation. If you are a Harry Potter fan, if you've seen any of the movies, or even just to be inspired, like I said, look on the internet, look on Pinterest at different masks. Again, because these could be, you could use this technique for the Man in the Iron Mask. If you're a, Alexander Dumas. If you are a fan of classics, you could do this same technique to create the Man in the Iron Mask. Okay? And, just be creative, get inspired. So what I'm doing is like I said, I'm just creating swirls and figures with hot glue. I created an edge around the border. I didn't worry about where the elastic was coming through because that's really going to be hidden under the hood of the DesthEater mask. And this mask is very flat that you get from the Dollar Tree, but we're going to reshape it later, and then we're going to also adjust the elastic to keep its shape. Because these masks, believe it or not, though we're not really magic, us muggles, that you take them on and off. There is no strap in the back of the head for the original, the DesthEater masks. They have magic. But So you want to, just disguise the strap anyway. But I'm just, being open to interpretation. And I have to tell you, there's a lot of string, spiderweb from glue strings, spiderwebs everywhere. And at first I was like, oh, let me clean them all up before I spray paint. But then I realized they're going to add to that old, aged, you know, um, handmade feel because they're going to seem more like scratches and imperfections. And I thought that that would really add to this, the creepiness. So whatever I did on the left, I just tried to duplicate on the right. And it didn't, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. So this is another mask that I found at the Dollar Tree. This one was the pirate mask, and I didn't want to do anything to it before I spray painted it. I just have one thing that I came up with afterwards. And actually, originally, I wasn't going to do anything to it because I was like, this totally looks like a DeathEater mask. But once I spray painted it, I realized, for some reason, I didn't realize it when it was gold. But when it was silver, I realized that this skeleton is like smiling, and that's not really DeathEater, so we'll change that up. But what I did in the back is I just took the like a small screwdriver or a pencil, and I cinched the mask tight. I tried to reshape it, but it didn't really hold all that well. Once I released the elastic, it just flattened out, which is why I didn't show you guys that technique. But that's why it looks misshapen like this. So you could do that if you want to while you're painting it, but you don't have to because like I said, as soon as I release it, it'll flatten back out. But then we'll adjust it later. So what I've done is I've just taken some craft black paint and I've painted it all over, and then I've taken a paper towel, and I like a paper towel because you can make it flat. And when you rub flat over the edges of all of those ridges, it just picks up the black off of the edges of the silver where it would be worn, and it gives it that antique look. And then I'm just taking some of that black and I'm going all over that pirate mask. And then I realized that, like I was saying, he's smiling and he really shouldn't be smiling. Excuse me. So I've decided what I want to do to this mask is one of them looked like they had little plates of iron that were welded on to different parts of the mask, and I thought that I would duplicate this just with marker. So I'm taking a variety of markers. This is the fat marker from the Dollar Tree. I've taken an old Sharpie and a new Sharpie, and I've just created what looks like welding dots. That's what I'm drawing here. Is almost like what would be like nails. I've created the 4 sections that look like 4 plates. Then I've decided afterwards that I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to extend those plates. And then wherever the dots were, I just put a dot of hot glue and did the swirly swirlies, swirly swirlies so that you can get rid of all the hairs. And then once they're dry, then go ahead and clean up whatever hairs you want. All right, and then I'm just extending those plates down and darkening eyebrows. And this is where I realized that he looks too smiley for a DeathEater. So what I thought I could do is I'm going to take a piece of fun foam and I'm going to make a plate. I've tried to make it look like there are plates going over his forehead. That bandana, I tried to make it look like it was plates. So I decided to make another plate going over his mouth with just a slit in it. So I've just measured a piece of fun foam here, and I'm just using a straight edge to cut it just the right shape and size. And I wanted it to go over the 2 smiley portions that come up. I'm just using my cutting mat here. Okay, when I've done, I'm laying it over the mask and I'm turning the mask backwards so that I can make sure that I draw a slit that will fill in. I want the slit to be where there's no teeth, and I didn't want to make it too wide, and I wanted to put it in the proper spot. So I went ahead and I did that. And then I took it outside and I coated it with the silver spray paint, the same nickel spray paint that I did. But I spared you guys of having to watch me do that. But just like I always say, measure so many times before you cut, and then dry fit it before you paint it, and all that stuff, okay? So, let's see. And I kind of angled the edges a little bit so that it would fit on the mask better. And then I hot glued it, and I did cut it a little short, and I hot glue it and went inside the smile, but I'm going to fix that in a minute. But what I first realized is I didn't realize I did that until I started to put on the black to age it, to give it that steel metal look. You know, the brushed nickel is really nice for a pretty brand new brushed nickel, but these masks are supposed to be aged and old and dirty, and they've seen better days. So I'm just peeling up those corners, and I'm stretching that fun foam because it will stretch a bit. I only needed it about 1/8 of an inch, so I'm doing that just to make sure it goes across the openings of the mouth to make it look a little bit more like a piece of metal that's covering it. And as I stretched it, I exposed some of the teeth. I glued it in the wrong spots. And what I'm doing here is, instead of putting black circles and then hot glue, I'm just showing you that you can just use hot glue and then go back and color it with the black Sharpie when you're done. But I've put some of the rivets on the mouth there. And then I also think I want to color in the space in the nose. So I'm coloring in the teeth. So it would just look like haunting, I think. I'm putting black dots on all of the glue dots to darken in those rivets. And then I'm going to go back over with the silver marker that I got at the Dollar Tree, just to tap over. But you don't have to. You can totally skip that step if you want. I would definitely do the black, but if you don't hit it with the highlights of the silver, it looks good. It looks good like that anyway. So, and then I'm blackening in some of the eyes. And one thing that I didn't do when I took the pictures in the beginning and at the end was I didn't put makeup on me. I highly recommend getting some black makeup from the Dollar Tree and blackening around your eyes, some even some smoky eyeshadow and some heavy eyeliner, so that your eyes look more sunken in, because that's what would have been if you were a Death Eater. And plus, when you wear masks on TV, that's what they do too. So, but I didn't have any on me, and I wanted to get this video up for you tonight, so I didn't wait to run out and get some. So you see here, I just hit a couple of the tops with the silver marker. And when I took this screwdriver out, as you can see, that mask practically opened back up again. So what I did was I unglued the elastic and I tied the elastic a little tighter so it would kind of keep that cool shape. And this is it on me. This is the one that was the Jason mask. And you see that a lot of the edges are covered by the hood. And then, yeah, so it's just your own personal effects. And then this is the one that was the original pirate mask. So I hope if you guys really like this tutorial, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. And you may have questions, it's totally fine. And if you, know anybody who'd be interested in making one of these, share it with your friends and family. And if you haven't yet, click subscribe, join the family. When you're done, ring that little notification bell. YouTube will let you know when I upload a new video. And as always, take care, God bless, see you next time. Happy Halloween, Potterheads!